This is my case study 5 presentation. I'm going to go ahead and get straight into my tentative plan for this session. So I've chosen my suggestions, and I've chosen them because my client is already suspicious of me. So this will be my chance to earn their trust by creating a safe and confidential space for him. Once my client is comfortable to open up with me, I will start to get into details about their crisis so I can better understand my client and why their situation is so urgent. I will remain honest, direct, and firm in my communication because my client is new. And this would be a great way for us to set expectations of the sessions and future sessions. Managing expectations is also beneficial for my client because it's important while they're going through their counseling journey to just know what to expect. Now that I've gotten the individual together, I'll start to work on the special population of the individual. So I would begin to manage their paranoia that is caused by the untreated PTSD. Some advice I would give him is to try out some relaxation techniques like deep breathing. Deep breathing can help with paranoia because it enables more air to flow into the body to keep calm. Another technique we could practice is mindfulness. This will work because it focuses on the moment rather than worrying about the past or feeling hyper vigilant. It's about learning and recognizing things for what they are instead of dwelling on any negative thoughts that they might have. Now that my client and I have a few sessions under our belt and I can identify which group session he can assimilate in, I will use 2 more practical suggestions. The first one I will use is to draw my client out of isolation and into the community. This will help establish therapeutic relationships with the group. Once my client starts to cry uncontrollably, I will allow him the space to cry it out and provide comfort in my voice and body language. If he finishes crying, I will allow him the space to continue sharing what he is feeling. I believe that since my client was willing to share his mistrust and PTSD, he is more than likely to keep on sharing, so I would encourage that. For special populations, families/couples, partners may feel hurt or cut off because the survivor has not been able to get over the trauma. Loved ones may become angry or distant towards the survivor. And because of that PTSD, it can make a loved one feel like they are living in a constant threat of danger. In fact, living with someone who has PTSD can make the partner have some of the same feelings of having been through the trauma. After educating both my client and his partner, I would also explain to them that this situation is difficult for both parties involved and can only be solved if they are both willing to put in the necessary work. When counselors change a role from the original contracted relationship, they have to obtain informed consent from the client and explain the client's rights to refuse service related to the change. Since it seems like this is a counseling session that has been moved from individual to couples therapy, I would need to be clear on who I am counseling, the individual or the couple. I would also need to make sure that all parties involved agree to this switch while also understanding what this new session comes with. Confidentiality is an important part of this change. So for a related factor, I would definitely check for suicide since my client is a 56-year-old older male with PTSD, and they could potentially experience combat trauma. I would address any and all ethical and legal issues with both parties present. This will ensure that we are on the same page, and I might also send out a follow-up email for both parties to confirm that everything that we discussed is correct. Along with being veterans, another related factor is being Black. According to blackdoctor.org, Black men have an unbelievable weight on their shoulders. The impact of walking down the street in your own neighborhood can be a traumatic experience in itself, and you don't know who to trust already. You could put trust in your brother or family members, but they also share the same pigment as you and are bound to the same traumatic experience as well. So when dealing with PTSD and different related factors, it's important to understand the dynamics of a Black household. Relations can often put a strain on the mind of young Black men who will grow up potentially to have PTSD.